Welcome to this flash tutorial. It's titled Ice Ball Game. And for some of these tutorials in this series, you'll need a pencil and a paper. It'll save you some time from trying to memorize some of the coordinates. And when you finish this group of tutorials, somewhere 3, 4, or 5 tutorials, I think you'll find it worthwhile. You'll have a game something like this. If this ball makes it down to here, it gets a score of 1,000, and 20 hits from these balls will make the computer win the game. On the other hand, if you get this little man up to here, he will win the game. But the catch is he cannot touch any of those blue borders. If he does, for example, boom, he goes right back. So he's got to be very careful. And he's got places to hide. And they're not very big, and they're hard to get into, but you can just change that if you wish. I got in there. I'll wait for this one to come by. My score is 2,000. I can go as high as 20,000 before I lose, and I can hide up in here till he comes by. I usually don't get through this, but I think you got the idea. I'd like to get him through just so you could see. I'm going to take a chance here and jump up in this slot here. Don't want to hit it. I think I can get there. Yeah, this is the hardest one. This is really tight. It's 5,000 so far. Still trying. Now I can hide up in here pretty easy, and this is the hardest one to time. I don't think I can make it now because this one here is almost ready to go. As soon as that one goes by me, I think I'm going to give it a shot. Yeah, I got a good chance. I can beat this guy out. And you win. Going to open a new FLA. Action script 3. And I want the width of my stage to be 560. Up here there's something called view. Click on that, and we got something called a grid. Show the grid. They're really small. Right click, grid, edit the grid, and I want it to be show these two here, and here I want 20 pixels and 20. Okay. Call this layer lines. Lines. Pick up the straight line tool. It's right here. Open the properties panel, line tool, and I want to have a stroke of 5, quite wide. I want black, so click there and get black. Now come down 1, 2, 3, 4. Come down 4 lines here, 4 of these grid lines, and in 3 roughly, and go over till there's 3 remaining. Pick up your selection tool, click on that, gets fuzzy, right click, copy it, right click, paste in place, and using your arrow keys toggle down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. Click on this one, it gets fuzzy. Hold your shift down, click on this one, it gets fuzzy. Right click, you could do that, or you could do this, highlight them both. Right click, copy. Right click, paste in place, and again, using your arrow keys, until this top line is 5 below, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have 1 space at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 and 4. Lock this lines layer. Come down here, insert a layer. We're going to call it a ball. This is our ice ball, B-A-L-L. Over here, I'm seeing a rectangle. If you're seeing an oval, okay, but otherwise click here. You get this drop down menu. I want the oval tool. Now right now it doesn't matter what colors I have. Come up here, hold your shift down, and make an oval. Okay, I don't want that. Delete that. Control Z. I select my oval tool, come up to properties, it says oval tool, go back to this here, this stroke back to 1. Come over here, holding your shift down, make an oval, actually a circle, pick up your selection tool, highlight it, go up here, modify, convert it to a symbol, make sure you have movie clip selected and call it ball, capital B-A-L-L, shift underscore MC. Copy that. Okay, open your properties panel, paste it in for an instance name, and make sure this here is locked. See, it's locked. And select this and call it 25, and when I hit the enter, the height will also change to 25. Bring that ball down till it just touches that line right there. Lock that layer. Select the lines layer. Insert a layer. Call it borders. B-O-D. And call it H-O-Z as in horizontal borders. We might be better off if we make this, pull this down here, and click here, fit the screen. Come over here, pick up your rectangle tool. So you have to click on this little corner here, get this drop down menu. You want rectangle. We'll get back to that ball eventually. I want the rectangle. I want black for my stroke, red for my fill, and just click here, drag it down to the bottom like that. It doesn't matter if it touches the top, but eventually it's going to touch that end. Pick up your selection tool, highlight it. It's all highlighted. Make sure you get the top and bottom. Modify, convert it to a symbol. Call it borders horizontal. So B-O-A-D-H, horizontal borders. Okay. Open up the properties panel. Call this one border, B-O-A-D, board, capital H-O-Z, horizontal. It's capital R for right on the right hand side, shift underscore MC. While we're at it, you can unlock this. I want to make sure that this is about 10 pixels wide. 10 pixels. And the height is based on the height of the stage right now. All right, so with that, while we have it selected, and if it's not selected, I'm just going to use my, gotta select it, and I'm trying to move it over with my arrow keys right to the edge, so it is hitting the edge of the stage. While it's highlighted, right click, copy it, right click, paste in place, and using your arrow keys, so then I'll take it over to the other end. Right there is good. Open the properties panel and change this R to a left at capital L. Lock all the layers. Select the top layer, insert a layer, call it AS as in action script, open the action panel, and type all this code. Got a whole lot of code to type here. We're going to start by making a variable, VAR, turns purple, ball, capital B-A-L-L, capital Y, colon, number, capital N-U-M-B-E-R, turns blue, if you spell it right, equals 4, semicolon. So that's going to be controlling the ball speed. Copy that, paste it in, and change the Y to an X. Stage, period. Add event listener. Small s, small a, capital E, capital L. That will turn blue if you spell it right. Open bracket. Event, capital E, period. Enter underscore frame. All uppercase. Hold your shift down. That's all blue. Comma. I'm calling it again. Capital AGAIN. Close bracket, semicolon. Function. Again. That's that name we give it. Open bracket, event, capital E, turns blue, close bracket. Here's the open curly bracket for this enter frame. And way down here is my close curly bracket. This will probably come in automatically. So I just got a little thing to myself here. We're going to make the snowball move right to left. Just a little note from myself. Capital BALL, ball underscore MC. That's that ball we just made. Period X, it's X coordinate, plus equals, that means add to, BALL, capital X, semicolon. That's that variable we made. So it's going to keep changing this X coordinate 4 pixels, and that'll simulate it moving across the stage. Now, what we can do is we can just try that out for a minute. So I'm just going to do this. And you should have this code and a closed curly bracket. So we can try it out. Control, test movie, test, and my ball is moving across the stage. If you've not done that before, you're probably smiling. But if you've done it before, you're just doing it again. Okay? I'm going to bring my code back that I'm using. Okay, after that ball, I'm saying if, open bracket, ball underscore MC, that's that ball, period, hit test object, small h, capital T, capital O, all turns blue, open bracket, board horizontal R, that's that movie clip we just made, on the right hand side, that red border, underscore MC, close bracket, here's the open curly bracket for this if, and down here there's going to be a close curly bracket when you start typing, so there should be 2 at the end. We're going to say ball underscore MC period Y. It's going to change its coordinate. It's going to drop down the page. Equals ball underscore MC period Y plus 100 semicolon. So whatever it is now, it's going to add 100 and drop down, and there's 4 spaces between here, each 20 pixels, so that's that 100 semicolon. Now at the same time we want the ball to reverse, so ball X equals ball X, and there's the asterisk sign. For me it's the uppercase of my number 8, -1 semicolon. Anytime you multiply something by -1, you just change the sign. And just in case something doesn't work right, we have this little trace. TRACE, open bracket, quotation, hit, close quotation, close bracket, semicolon. There's 2 curly brackets here, close curly brackets. If for some reason the ball doesn't move and we get this in our output, we know that this is right, that the test is right, but there's something wrong with this code here. Control, test movie, test. And when it hits this wall, we're going to see something over here say hit. There, see that? And it dropped down, and it'll keep going down the page. Again, oh no, we got to code this one. Let's go back to the action script, and we got to code it for if it hits this wall here. Come up to this if and click right here for a minute and go all the way over to here. Right click, copy that, and click here, and there's something called a pike, and on my computer, and I believe it's on most keyboards, it's on the it's around the center of the keyboard horizontally, but it's up on the second last row. It's the uppercase of the backslash, and in mine it's just to the left of my go back arrow, and it's just to the right of my plus and equal keys. It's called a pike. So hold your shift down, hit that twice, pike, pike, there it is, and paste in what we had copied. And here we want the hit test to be for the left. Now to make this work, I believe I need another open bracket, and I believe I need a closed bracket here. Just going to check that, see if I got away with that. Hey, I think we might have it. Let's test that out. Oh, no, I got some kind of an error on that. Undefined property, oh, horizontal L. I must not have, go back to the timeline, lock the layers, unlock this horizontal layer, check this, the spelling of this. Board, horizontal L. And this tells me board, B-O-D, board, oh, maybe I spelled it wrong. B-O-A-D-H-O-Z. Oh, I don't have a capital L. See that? It's a small L. That's my, you may not have that problem. So with my code here, this has to be a capital L. Ah, you probably didn't have that fault. Love that output panel. Test movie test. There. And it goes here. I'll hit this one and drop. It'll go over, hit this one and drop. Come over, hit this one, drop, and come over, hit this one and drop. I have all my layers locked. I'm selecting the horizontals layer, frame 1. Come over here. I'm picking up something called a free transform tool, and I click on this left hand border, and you see that little arrow, that little circle. Bring your cursor over to get on that circle, drag it straight up to the center there. It should be in the center. Now come down here, and you see I got those up down arrows, come down until you see one up down arrow. See that? Take that up, 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 until we're 2.5 spaces above this line. Then go grab that circle and bring it back down. Pick up your selection tool, right click on this, copy it, right click, paste in place. Now use your arrow keys and just move it off to the side a little bit. I got an area here, 1, 2, 3 pixels high, or 3 times 20, 60. So come over to the properties panel, and you make sure this is unlocked, and you see the height here. Change this to 60. Enter, and I got this little one now. Click it and drag it right down to the bottom here, so it's in line with that one. Click off to the side, click on just it, not 2 of them. Open the properties panel, and it's board, horizontal, left, and put another capital L in here, left lower, so that it's, when it hits this, it's going to do something special. Let's lock that layer. Let's select the actions layer, open the actions panel. Down here after this one, but before that one, a couple enters. Type this code. If ball, if open bracket ball underscore MC period hit test object open bracket board horizontal LL underscore MC close bracket close bracket. You could come up here and copy some of this if you want and use it, but make sure you have what I have here now. We're going to have to go back to the timeline to get the coordinates for our ball. So go back to the timeline, make sure all the layers are locked, unlock the ball layer, select frame 1, and the ball Don't worry about all this stuff. And the ball, if I look at it, my x is 72.5. So you want to write this down. Your x is 72.5. And my y is 64. So you want to write them down because that's where we're going to end up putting this ball. So x 72.5, y 64. Go back to the action panel. And the x, there's the y. The y is going to be 72.5. And the x is going to be 64. So what that means is when we tell that to hit this line, when the ball hits this lower line, it's going to jump back up to that rest position. And ball x equals ball x asterisk -1 semicolon. That's what we're doing to make it reverse. You can go up here actually and copy this line and type it in. And I'm going to come up here. This hit now I don't need because I know that one works. And I'm going to, you could copy that, paste it in here, so we'll know if we hit the left thing this time. And should be 2 closed curly brackets. Hopefully no errors. All right. Drops. Goes the other direction. Mine's riding a little high on the line, so I might have got my but that's all right. And this time it should hit this one, and instead of coming back, it should come up here and start over again. And if you've never done this before, you're really smiling. That's enough for this tutorial. There's going to be a follow-up. It'll be Ice Ball Game Part 2. So make sure you save this FLA. Hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learn.